Hi there. So I got all this scrap copper wire here that came from a utility pole that came down in a storm, and it got abandoned and replaced. So I grabbed it, I kind of cut it up a little bit, brought it to the scrapyard to see what they would give me for it, and they said 20 cents a pound because it's just insulated wire. And I said, oh, well, that's kind of terrible, really? Well, I guess, I don't want to drive around with this stuff. So he said, well, if you got the insulation off, we'd give you like $3.50 a pound. And I said, well, that's quite a difference. How do I get the insulation off? I'm not going to sit here with a pair of wire strippers. So, oh, yeah, you just throw the stuff in the fire and let it burn, and, you get nice shiny copper when it comes out. And I said, well, I'm definitely not doing that, because that's, if I do this in my fire pit, that's toxic ash that is going to go down into the ground and pollute my groundwater. And it's toxic smoke that's going to be going around the neighborhood. And this is a really nice, quiet neighborhood. I live out in the woods. So I don't want to do that, cause pollution out here where pollution hasn't reached yet. Well, not badly at least. So how can I do this? How can I make a machine that'll strip this stuff off and mostly automate it? And I came up with this. I took my drill press and I took one of these 7 million old spark plug sockets that I have. I ground a slot in the spark plug socket, drilled a hole in a piece of scrap wood I had laying around, clamped that down, put a collection box at the bottom, and then take a piece of wire. I slide it through the hole here. I'm doing this one-handed, so it's kind of a pain in the butt here. And then I lower my socket, and I start the press. Now that wasn't a great one because it didn't have a lot of insulation, but it shows how this stuff just flakes off. So by bending it, now I've got a nice piece of, it's not exactly shiny, it's tarnished, but nice piece of copper, probably half a pound of copper right there. I just do this with all this wire, and pretty soon I can go back to the scrapyard and say, hey, here's my copper wire, give me $3 a pound, or whatever it happens to be. Now I'm much faster at this with two hands, but one on the camera slows me down here. So here we go again. And there we go. Boom. I got my, need a glove. I got my nice available copper. All right, so I just wanted to point out what happens when the coil gets stuck on the socket. I take a much bigger socket. I stick the smaller one in there. Take an extension, put it in the center. Give it a tap. And all is free. Good to go. Okay, so I am pretty close to the end here. Just wanted to make sure I got a decent shot of this thing working. I had to make some modifications, and this stuff was flying everywhere and wasn't making my bucket as much, so I put up a little shrouding. And now for one of the last pieces. There we go. Voila. Still a little flake on there. Get that off. There we go. And this is my result. This is a very heavy box. So